everyone, I'm Karen and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Empress of All Seasons by Emiko Jean. Now, I got kindly sent this book by Stevie from Galanx. I requested this book actually. I usually get sent like the monthly, this is what we've got coming out stuff. And I thought this sounded like a Japanese fantasy Hunger Games. And the thing is, I was intrigued, but I wasn't super excited. I thought it might be a bit too formulaic, it might be a little bit too reminiscent of the Hunger Games, but boy was I wrong, and I'll tell you all about that in a minute. So every generation there's a competition in the Empire of Honoku, and that is to find their empress. And in order to win, you have to survive the 4 season rooms. Every girl in the entire empire may compete to become empress, but only one can win. The only exception to that rule is that yokai, who are like spirits or beasts, monsters, are not allowed to compete. So in this book we follow 3 main characters at 3 points of view, and the first of these is Mari, who's been training her entire life to compete in the competition of the seasons. The only kind of trouble with that is that she is a yokai, and so she's found out her life will be forfeit. Our second main character is Taro, the imperial prince, who does not want to be a prince or a prize to be won, which, to be honest, I mean, can we blame him? And our third main character is Akira, who's a half yokai, half human outcast, who's been kind of Mari's childhood friend. So it becomes a very interesting mix of characters. So at the very beginning of the book, we first meet Mari. She is preparing, it's her final day, her final preparation before she goes to the capital city to compete in the competition. And that's how it all starts. I don't want to tell you too much about how our 3 main characters meet, how their POVs entwine, but let's just say that it becomes a very interesting chain of events. Now, there's so much to love about this book. I mean, most of the world building is based upon Emiko's Japanese heritage. It immediately becomes this self-contained world. It is so detailed, so layered. It doesn't miss a single beat. I absolutely loved the world and the world building. I also really loved the magic system. I loved the idea of yokai and that there's different kinds of yokai. I love that in between some of the chapters there's parts of like the mythology of the world, which not only explained some of the things to us, but also made these amazing parallels between, you know, the mythology and the characters that we were reading about. Honestly, this was such a rich, beautiful fantasy. It's perfect YA fantasy. I absolutely would recommend it very highly. Character-wise, you have these 3 characters who are so different yet so similar at the same time, and just the sheer incommunication sometimes made me want to kill somebody, but it was just, the payoff at the end was amazing. Mari is a formidable character and I love her determination and her bravery. I also really love the fact that she always questions her own humanity because she is not human. And it really reminded me of this Savage song by V.E. Schwab, where the humans have lost their humanity, whereas the monsters want to be human or kind of struggle with what they consider humanity and being a kind person. And that was one of those things that I really loved in this book as well. All in all, I absolutely loved this story about these 3 people and how their choices determine basically the fate of an entire empire and an entire race of people. Highly recommend it. I don't want to tell you much more because I don't want to spoil anything, but if you have a chance to get your hands on this, I would highly recommend you do so. So there you have it, that's it for today. Do let me know down below in the comments if you've read Empress of All Seasons, and if not, why would you want to read it? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye.